I am the light of my soul, beautiful, I am bountiful. I am blessed, I am. There's a light in the soul that is unchanging, eternal, and beyond all fear, the Bhagavad Gita tells us. But many of us are overstimulated, overwhelmed, dysregulated, and underrooted in the light of our souls and the power of our divinity. And I want to spend the month of March and the holy days of Lent and Ramadan, where we can learn something from fasting and abstaining and come back into contact with the power of the light and the love in our own souls. Viva la revolution. It's a spiritual revolution, my friends. And this is how we serve the revolution.
If you'll join me for an opening prayer, and we'll get started. If you feel comfortable closing your eyes. There's something real special about gathering, about being together in community that is so very precious and so very wonderful to have family and friends and people to share this evening with. We allow the day to pass by and let go those thoughts that no longer serve us. Let them go. Let them flee. As we welcome our musicians and Reverend Amani this evening for our message. There's something real special about the preciousness of this space, the divine essence of life itself. To remember that the light is always on, that the sanctuary within our hearts is always available to us, that we are never separated from the perfection of life, from the universal spirit that ignites us and gives us our breath. And as we give thanks for this precious day of life, I give thanks for each and every one of you. And so it is.
How lucky are we to have all these beloveds in our community? Opening up to the sweet surrender of the infinite love light of the One. So some of you know I went to Egypt in January, and there was this sweet surrender asked of me that I had not anticipated as part of my experience. And this sweet surrender was, in Egypt, I was a queen. I mean, they called me queen, they treated me like a queen. I queened for the entire month. It was amazing. It was amazing. I kept telling them, how can I take the queening home? It was incredible to be so cared for and treated this so well. I'd never been treated that well in my life. In my life. But I had to surrender to it. It was uncomfortable. I was like, I can't, you're gonna carry it? Okay. Oh, I dropped something. Oh, you're gonna pick it up. I'm not gonna pick it up. Okay. You're good. Oh, wait, please get the door. Thank you. There was a lot of me getting used to being treated like a queen. It was truly an experience of surrender. Truly. And I had to also surrender the hyper-independence that I had been trained in as a Black woman in this country. I had to surrender some of my bootstrap mentality as a Midwestern girl. And it was sweet. It was a sweet thing, but it was really fascinating to watch myself be so uncomfortable. To watch myself go like 8 times just because somebody wanted to open a door. to every time we went into a new hotel or we had to pack and move things into a new part of, there were a lot of planes and boats and there was a lot of movement. And so every time I would be preempted before I could grab my bag to carry it anywhere. Someone would come find me and be like, we got somebody to come get your bag, just come on. And like they knew I was gonna do it. So they would preempt my over-independent self. They would say, Queen Amani, we've got it. Somebody's gonna come up to your room, just come on down. And there I am again. Oh, okay. And it was a surrendering. It was a releasing. It was a letting go of everything I had understood about how to be in the world. And as sweet as it was not easy to let go, to trust that these people really did have my well-being and my best interest at heart. And they really did have it. Even my wildly overpacked bag by the end. They had it. Part of what we're asking ourselves to do as spiritual beings is to let go and release, particularly what no longer serves. The story that Clarissa shared earlier, right? When our bowls and our cups and our vessels are too full of what we think we know, of how we think it's supposed to be, we have no room to receive the goodness of the divine, the goodness of life. This releasing, this letting go, is not just for the sweet surrenders. It's also for the really difficult ones. I'm going to share the story that is told in the Hebrew Bible and in the Hadith and in the Quran. And I'm going to tell the Hadith version just because it's really well narrated. But it's the story of Hagar, if you're familiar. And she was the Egyptian slave of Sarah and Abraham. And Sarah couldn't have a baby, so they asked Hagar to have a baby instead with Abraham. And she did. She was not a fan of this idea, but she did it anyways. So that's the backstory of Hagar. Her baby is Ishmael. Things go on. Sarah miraculously gets pregnant. It's a miracle. And they have Isaac. And now she really wants Hagar and Ishmael out the house. You got to go. I do not want the mistress and her baby in the house anymore. I have my own baby now. So off they go. And in the Hadith, the narration of this story is that Abraham takes Hagar and Ishmael out into the desert and with some food and a skin of water, and then leaves them. And as Abraham is leaving, Hagar's like, how are you going to leave us here where there's nothing? And he doesn't answer and just keeps on rolling. And she says, did God command you? And he shook his head, yes. And she said, then in God I will trust. All will be taken care of. So Ishmael and Hagar are in the desert. They run out of food and water. And she doesn't know what to do. So she puts Ishmael under a bush. There are many possible reasons for this. Some say in Genesis, in the Hebrew Bible, it says that she does that because she can't stand to watch her baby die. Some say it was to bring the baby out of the sun and into the shade. We don't know why. So the baby's under the bush, and Hagar starts running between two mountain hills. Hills, they call them mountains, we would call them hills. Running between them in desperation Can you imagine a mother with nothing in the desert, with no water, nothing to offer her baby, and she's now running in desperation between these two mountains, trying to find water, trying to find something. And she runs 7 times, which to this day is a ritual that they do in Islam, is running between these hills during a certain season of the year. But what happens is the angel Gabriel appears, and a well is at the feet of Ishmael, which is, they call the waters of Zamzam. And that well is running to this day, and it is a holy water. So there's 2 versions of the well. One version says, it appeared with Gabriel, the well suddenly began flowing, and the water appeared. Another version of the story is that as she was running, she suddenly saw the well that she hadn't seen before. Choose your miracle. When I was in Egypt, working on my surrender, we did a ritual at the feet of the Sphinx, which, by the way, are taller than me and wider than my arm span, just the paws. And in the ritual, we each got to, in our little group, it was at sunrise, and got to be there before the public was there. It was this beautiful experience. And we all got to have a moment in prayer and her original name is Tefnut. Sphinx is the Greek name of the Sphinx. But so Tefnut and I are chatting in this ritual. And she shows me some things in my prayer time with her, and I didn't understand. And part of it was around mothering. And she showed me a book, and I didn't understand. So as the ritual continued on, I just kept saying, I don't understand, can you show me? And at one point I heard, come close. And you're not really supposed to be handsy with the ruins in Egypt, but I was like, she said come close. I'm about to lay up on this Sphinx. The security guard's on the other side. So I laid against her and listened, hoping to hear an answer, to feel something that explained this moment I was having with Tefnut. And suddenly I heard paper. And I was like, paper, huh? Okay, she showed me a book, paper, okay. It was really like a live sound of paper. And so I looked down, and again, I'm kind of hiding to the side by myself, laid up against her, and there are 200 Egyptian pounds laying at my feet, rustling a little bit in the wind. Again, I'm going to choose the miracle. Did Tefnut just give me 200 pounds? $200? Or were they here and I didn't see them before? In the surrender, the revelation becomes possible. In the surrender, we can let the holy take hold. The well appears. The waters begin to run. The money comes up from the sand. But in the letting go, the being uncertain, Hagar was desperate. She had no idea how they were going to survive that. I had no idea what I was supposed to be doing in that moment, what I was supposed to understand. But in the willingness to be uncertain, even when it's life and death, and when it's sweet. And we're having a lot of these moments right now, yes? It is life and death for a lot of people on the planet right now. And it is sweet for a lot of us on the planet as well. But the skill of surrender is one of the superpowers we have to meet these moments, to invite in the miracles, to make welcome a holy rising that we may not have been able to do on our own. From the Hebrew Bible, be still and know I am God. The Hebrew word for be still, Rapha. The translation of Rapha is a little different than be still than we mostly understand it. It's to stop, to let go, to release your grip. So it's really stop it. I am holy. I got it. That is another translation of be still and know I am God. Release your grip so that I can move through you, through your life. There's a great country song, Jesus, take the wheel. But we got to take our hands off, though, if we're really going to let the holy rise, if we're going to let Spirit move through our lives. Rapha, stop it. What are you gripping in your life? What must you surrender? What do you need to take your hands off and allow the holy to move, to allow Spirit to rise and bring the miracle? The practice this month, the month of March, is fasting and abstaining. We're in the season of Lent, we're in the season of Ramadan, Easter and Passover are on the way. So there's a lot of people on the planet right now who are fasting and abstaining. What do you need to abstain from? The Quran says that we fast, those of us in the here and now and everyone ever before us in this tradition fast to become God conscious. What do you need to let go of, empty yourself of, in order to allow your consciousness to be filled by the One? So that our eyes, my eyes, your eyes, can see what Spirit is trying to show us. Maybe the well had been there all along, and Hagar, in her desperation, missed it. Maybe I had stepped on those 200-pound and didn't know it. It doesn't actually matter. The miracle is that the way was made, that the water was there, the money arrived. And I could see it, and she could see it. At the feet of her baby, the answer was right there. But she not only let go, she didn't chase after Abraham and make him take her with them. She stayed there, trusting the divine. And she got up and ran and looked to find the answer. She moved to see, to find, okay, God, I believe in you. I trust that there is a miracle here somehow, somewhere. I don't know what it is. So I'm going to run from here to there and back again until I see it. I'm going to trust it. I'm going to let go of what I think I know. I'm going to empty myself of a false narrative and way of being so that I can be open to receive what Spirit would like me to have. The message, the resource, whatever that may be. What is it for you that you need to let go? that you need to Rafa, to stop it and loosen your grip so Spirit can move. I believe we are worthy and able to be the way for miracles. And the world is in need of a whole bunch of miracles right now. So may we each be the place where one can show up. Yeah?